Deshaun Watson. Well, it didn't look great on the field.
Is back.
It didn't look great on the field, and now it doesn't look great off the field either. There is a new lawsuit. This is a civil lawsuit that was filed in a Houston court on Monday that accuses Watson of sexual assault and battery in October 2020. That's obviously when he was a member of the Houston Texans. Apparently, Watson met a woman. They wanted to take her out on a date. She didn't want to go on a date. She agreed to have dinner at her apartment. He came over to the apartment after he was frustrated not being able to find the apartment. And according to this report, she was finishing getting ready. She came out of her room. There he was, nude on the bed, like
on his belly.
Yeah,
on his belly though. You got to make sure he was nude. On the detail is pretty interesting.
He was face down and naked.
He needed some knots rubbed out of his gluteus maximus.
Yeah, he really wanted
Decimus meridius.
He really wanted to focus on that area.
That's it. That's all I need work on. Like, you don't need to do anything else.
Yeah, that's
dim cheeks.
Get deep into them cheeks.
So now, if you've followed any of this stuff in the past and you've looked up any of the details on the accusations of the past, this is all very similar. All of it is very similar.
It's not something to laugh at, to be honest.
No, but
it's in some ways. I mean, you got. I don't know. I'm not laughing.
And I think that we were making the point after he came back that this is never going to go away.
It's never going to go away.
And so now,
the gift that will continue to keep giving.
When you see how poorly he played, how bad that's gone from a football standpoint,
and you know a team and a city is locked into that guy being your guy because of the contract that he has, somebody, somewhere, somehow, some way has a vested interest in being able to get from underneath that contract.
Do you think if the Browns could get out of this contract right now, they would?
Hell yes. Last year. They would have got from under it last year.
My first thought was, this is friendly fire. I mean, I'm saying that half serious, but if you look at the details of this, my initial questions were, so this happened in 2020, why now? Like, why is this lawsuit surfacing now? Now, it's with Tony Busby. He's been the attorney that's represented the, 22 other lawsuits with allegations, who had the settlement. So, maybe he was trying to get all the details in order. Who knows the rationale or the reason as to why? But it seems a bit odd that this incident happened around the same time as the other women, yet now it's coming out. And now they're filing the lawsuit.
And making sure they put the details out there. It's in the media. So everybody, he's already getting piled on by the media, by the way he's playing. So perfect timing.
And it's the only way you can get out from underneath this contract.
Contract detrimental.
That's right. If there's something that you do conduct detrimental like this that is within the player conduct policy, that is how you would void the guarantees. Now, the only thing I don't know is, and this is probably what his agent would say, and this is what an attorney would say, is this happened in 2020. Like, we already covered this. You signed this to a contract that basically, went above and beyond, like anything that comes up or resurfaces from that time. Now, if this happened last week, 6 months ago, a year ago, different story. I've been a Cleveland Brown. That's after the fact. But my guess is that this will not change the contract status. I could be completely wrong because it's a new allegation. But that would be my guess, is if it was around the same time frame, there won't be anything that really changes in regards to his contract status with the Cleveland Browns.
I started thinking, if some way, somehow, because each person that comes out, it's new. It's new. Like, it's not like criminally speaking, I don't know. He never went on trial, so this isn't like a double jeopardy. Like, he can't go to trial again for this, but he settled with all of those people before it got that far, if I recall it correctly. It's a little bit of time that's passed, but each time he brings a new person, Bugsby brings a new person to the table, I feel like if something civilly sticks, then there's the possibility that a criminal charge could come after that. Isn't that what happened to Bill Cosby or something like that? Something happened. I'm not exactly sure, but
the burden of proof for proving it criminally is much more difficult than from a civil court of law.
Right.
So you really wouldn't, you really wouldn't look to do kind of civil, then maybe you could in criminal. It would be probably more criminal, and then you'd go to civil. Very similar to kind of O.J. Simpson, where he was tried originally
and
criminally.
Then afterwards.
Afterwards, they tried him in a civil court of law.
That was the only thing I could come up with as to why this would come out now, is that if you can find a way to get this into a criminal court, which the next thing I thought about is, okay, how much? How much do I got to pay you to go away? What are we settling for? Get her out of here. That's probably what Deshaun Watson's side is thinking. It still, to me, chips away. It brings back to front of mind, to the fan base, to people, what he did or what he allegedly did, whatever it is that happened. And now that becomes a part of the conversation with how he's playing. And I just wonder, what comes from that? There's got to be something that the Browns are looking for to be able to get away from Deshaun Watson, and I'm talking with a different quarterback possibly this year with Jameis Winston or other coming in to play for this team.
If he settles, just talk about this case. If he settles this, that's kind of an admission of some guilt. No?
But didn't he do that with the other ones? Didn't he settle with the other ones?
Well, he was really defiant for a long time.
But he settled.
I think so.
I'm pretty certain he settled.
And
maintained. He settled, but maintained his innocence throughout everything that he said.
And I just wonder if maybe there's been discussions with him, either from the Browns or the NFL, Roger Goodell or somebody who said to Deshaun Watson, hey, there's nothing else we need to be worried about, right? We want to know that everything is out in the open, that you're going to counseling, whatever it is that you're doing.
That could be an angle. Is that an angle, Q?
We want to know there's nothing else going on here.
If there's legitimacy to this claim, and he settles with them, then that would have meant that it happening in 2020, he lied to the NFL and he lied to the Browns about what else was going on. And if that were the case, then you've done a deal without good faith, or what is that all called? You did a deal with deception, and there you can unravel a deal if a deal was done and you were deceptive about something as egregious as this, right?
Technically, it's called the weirdo clause.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's something there.
The language there.
That's deep.
I don't know for a fact, so I'm sure it might be a possibility, but I also think
it's a reach.
It's a bit of a reach.
I'm throwing it out there.
There's probably a good chance that the list of things that he told the Browns and maybe even told the NFL for that matter might have been greater than the number of allegations. He might have sent over a list of 30. We don't even know how many. He might say that there's this list of people just to cover his basis, knowing that if he's getting this $230 million contract, he doesn't want to do anything that could potentially prevent him from earning all those dollars.
Just think about what we're saying.
But what if he didn't even remember her? What if he don't even remember? There's so many of them.
Think about what we're saying here.
Missed that one.
Hey, just to play it safe, we're going to round up and call it an even 30. There's 30 other possible.
There's something. I'm telling you, there's something to this, man.
What is
so? They're claiming, by the way, just to get back to on the field quickly. This was one of the worst performances we've ever seen in NFL history. That he was 0 for 10 on passes on 15 yards in the air. And this is via CBS. And it was the worst track game in NFL history so far.
People have been swelling up on him in the media. I mean, there has been nothing positive in terms of any conversation surrounding Deshaun Watson.
I told you guys this way back when. It reminds me only of like the Tiger Woods kind of situation in the sense of like his private stuff became public. And now he's got to deal with the fact that, people are going to now be able to, think and say whatever they want about him. And he's got to deal with that. And all those things, those allegations are true to some degree, right? I mean, he settled. It wasn't like he went to court to prove his innocence. That wasn't the case. And I understand at times, people will settle because they just want things to go away, whether they think they're true or not. We can have that, philosophical debate. But
there's still an admission when you do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And so because of that, now it's like everyone knows your dirty laundry, literally. I mean, literally a lot of dirty towels in there, but everyone knows it. And you've got to be able to deal with people looking at you and whispering about you and being, oh, there's that guy. And all. I mean, everywhere he goes. And as much as his agent, David Mulugheta, as much as other people who support him, Ryan Clark or his QB coach, whoever else, as much as they want to try to make it go away, it's not going to go away. Like people who are friends with him, it's not going to go away. It's going to stick with him forever. And it doesn't help these allegations keep coming up. So, I'm not sure if this allegation, if he had kept it from them, what that would mean, only because I'm sure they covered their bases when they agreed to this contract and saying, hey, here's an entire list. And by the way, we've got a clause in there that prohibits us from any of this, that comes out from this time, taking away from these guarantees because you knew about it. You signed up for it.
I don't know, man. I just think the timing is curious. And with all of that being said, if something new, a new allegation came out that you did not disclose to them, I just feel like there's something there. There's something there because you did a deal with me in deception. You did a deal with me in deception. That's not good faith. That's not good faith. And there's something, I feel like there's something like this came out for a reason. The timing of it is way too curious to me. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
You just wonder if Cleveland's throwing in the towel on this whole thing.